Hi, welcome to the Refueling Station Live. I'm your host, Dr. Erin. Thank you so much for joining me. I don't know if you're tuning in, catching me on your lunch break, or you're running an errand. No matter what, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new to the station, my name is Dr. Erin Wheeler. I'm the host. I'm an executive leadership coach. I've worked in higher ed and nonprofits leading teams, but I focus on the leader, the person, as a way to become a phenomenal leader. We got to focus on ourselves first as human, hence the refueling station, so we can have inspiration to live, do, and be well all the way around, all success. And today's topic actually represents that. One of the things that I'm most passionate about, mainly because I've been burnt out before and it's not a great feeling. And I was left wondering why I have the job, I have the title, the degrees, everything, but I still feel like something's missing. So when I started to search or come across things that actually made sense to me, this topic, this way we talk about a good life, actually made sense to me. So I want to share that with you today. The title of this one, it was a last minute title change. Are you hustling yourself out of a good life? So many times, especially in our community society of people of color, we are so focused on getting and building the American dream, which may or may not be possible, right? But when 50 years of research asked everybody or a lot of people across the world what makes life worth living, they name 5 things. But what happens in our culture, especially American culture, we focus so much on money and success that we neglect a lot of parts of the good life that we're trying to work for. So it's actually working backwards. It's irony. We're working for a good life, but at the same time, we're losing it. No, that may confuse you, but let me explain. So when you think about what's missing, you ask somebody with money, they're going to say something else. You ask a person without money, they're going to say something. You ask a person with this, they're going to say this is missing. So once you put all of those pieces together, what do we need to be fulfilled? And also, what do we need to have a good life or live a life that's well lived? At the end of our time, are you going to be satisfied? Not even at the end of time. Today, are you satisfied with what you have? So I want to talk about the 5 elements of well-being. And I want you to think about, as I'm explaining each one, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this particular area for your life? And then at the end of our conversation, I'll give you one challenge. So the 5 elements of well-being, I'll say them all, and then I'll go back to explain it. So have career, you have social, you have physical, financial, and you have community. All of those things, once we're thriving in all of those areas, that was what the research showed, that people, no matter where they were in the world, no matter how old they were, no matter what they had, they named these things. Now you say, okay, I've heard of that, and that's what I'm trying to have. But I want to give you the definition so you can see that it's probably not the way you define things. Sometimes it's how we define it, how we look at things that can shift our perspective. So let's go with career. You think career, I have a job. That's great. Most people are right now wanting jobs, especially if they want to work, but that's not the end all be all. Let me give you the definition of career well-being and see if that jogs something in you. So career well-being involves finding satisfaction and fulfillment in your daily work. Simply put, you love what you do every day. Now, I know this for a fact, 85% of the world, Craig, does not like their job. When I realized I didn't like it, I thought it was just me. And at 85%, I was like, I'm not alone. What is it behind that? So most times we don't like what we love to do every day. But what happens when you retire? You don't have this career, but you still want to live well. So this definition, no matter where you are in life, you have to love what you do every day. Whether you're going to work every day, you're an entrepreneur, or you're retired, or you're in between, Do you love what you do every day? That's a simple way to look at career well-being. This is number one, of course, not just in America, but because it's something that you're doing with your time every day, you're putting your energy every day. Career well-being is one of the biggest factors on how we look at life and how we judge it, if it's a life well lived or we're living the good life. You have to enjoy what you do. So as executive coach, whether I'm in the leadership mode or productivity mode or career mode, I help clients figure out what do they love and how do you get connected with it. And sometimes they don't find it in one particular job. Sometimes they find it in a side hustle or part-time consulting. Sometimes they may have to switch jobs or switch careers. But if this is one of the areas where you feel like you're struggling, like you hate what you do, you have to figure out what part of this is something that I don't enjoy. Will every day be pleasant? No, because people are there. People somehow complicate whether your things are pleasant or not, right? But in career well-being, loving what you do every day, you enjoy it, even if there comes challenges. That's how you know that this is something made for you. So I want you to get clear on what is it that you enjoy doing and you love what you do every day. Second, so I'm putting these in order of importance. Of everything's important, but I'm ranking them, right? So second, social well-being. You met people who have a wonderful career. They love what they do, but they work so hard that they don't have friends or family and they have no connections. That burns people out as well. So social well-being. Social well-being focuses on the quality of relationships and connections in your life. Simply put, you have good people in your life that love you and encourage you. Did not define a relationship. It doesn't have to be a partner or friend. It doesn't have to have a title. It just says people. People in your life who encourage you to be positive, encourage you and encourage your growth and development, that love you. Simply put, do you have people in your life that look out for you and have your best interests? So I don't sometimes, especially for men, sometimes women, we hustle our way out of this. This is second, right? But sometimes we hustle ourselves out of this. We don't have time for friends, for family. We don't stop and take phone calls with people. We're too busy to make time and make space and make room for the people who pour into us for conversations, quality time, whether it's kids, grandpas, grandparents, parents, siblings. We're moving so fast and we just kind of take for granted that they're there. But when we don't cultivate relationships and we don't have people there, that takes away a quality of life. So I want you in the grant, like sometimes you say, I don't have time for this, but you have to make time, be present. It is possible you can do this. Me and my sister have to work on this extra hard. She's a professor, her schedule changes. So every semester we have to have, okay, on Wednesdays might be our sister call. And I have a time and place for all the people who are important to me, have a time where it's quality time. It's just for them, whether it's a 10-minute conversation or a 2-hour conversation with my dad on Sundays. So career, social, next, financial. So notice career and financial are two totally different things. We can't neglect this. Some people say, well, money, I saw the meme, money aside, what do you need? No, I need the money you just put aside. We can't escape. Money can buy happiness, but money buys the necessities of life: food, shelter, clothing, health, all of that. We need money to do that. So we can't take money out. We just can't make money rule everything. So the definition of financial well-being, are you well in this area, involves effectively in managing your economic life and feeling secure about your financial situation. So it does not say you had to have $1 million. It didn't say you had to be rich or wealthy or have this asset or this debt or this credit. It says you're able to manage your economic life and it does not stress you out. How can you get to that point? That's a question for you. It's definitely possible. But I remember when I was burnt out And I didn't want the stress of, I was tired of trying to figure out how to pay for everything. And I realized I'm paying for stuff I don't even need or use or don't even enjoy. But I want to have things for what I do. So I had to say, okay, if this big thing over here brings you joy and you need it, and this is an unstressful thing and you need a part of your life, then why are you stressing out trying to pay for something that does not give you that satisfaction? So I managed my economic situation, did not get a pay raise or anything, but I took my financial situation in my hands to where I am only paying and managing for things that I need and that bring me joy. So I'm not just out here willy-nilly and just paying for everything because everybody has it or it's something that I need. I did that so I could be relieve the stress off me, but I can improve my financial well-being. So sometimes it's not about the amount of money you make, it's being able to manage your resources and your needs in order to be financially well. So, career, 1, social well-being, 2, financial well-being, 3, our 4th, we can't do anything without our physical health. And I'll throw in mental health at that. But physical well-being is not a size, a weight, a BMI, or anything like that. It encompasses everything, but it comes down to a question. Do you have the energy and the help to do the things you love to do every day? So it goes back to your career. Are you able, this encompasses, of course, good health, but having enough energy. And I know when you're burnt out, you're stressed out, you're overworked, or just overstimulated, you have too many things on your plate, that can drain your energy. You could look healthy from the outside from a scientific or medical point of view, but if you don't have the mental, emotional, or physical energy to do it, then your well-being is low. And when you're not able to move, whether it's running after your kids or going shopping for groceries or getting out of the car, walk to the office, or just getting out of the couch and doing something around the house or getting out for a walk, that is super important. You need your energy and your health to do everything you love. And so lastly is community well-being. It's last, but it's not least, but it's one of those things that is I want to say the icing on a cake. But if you have all of these things above, your physical, your social, your financial, and your career, community well-being brings it all together. Now, this, of course, relates to your sense of engagement with your community, your local community, but it also relates to you feeling safe and connected to where you live. If you don't feel safe or connected where you live, this drops down your quality of life. So that's definitely important. Like if you're isolated from like your church, any community meetings or leagues, you don't know anybody, you don't even know the local bakery or coffee shop or anything. If you're isolated, that brings down your quality of life. So as I told you at the top of the show that I wanted you to think about where you are in terms of that. I said a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, of course, 1 being the lowest. Or you can look at these things and say, am I thriving, struggling, or maintaining? So thriving, I'm doing really well. Everything's great. I have the energy. I love what I do. I can manage my finances and I'm connected to my community. All of those things are fine. Maintaining, I'm good. I can improve. I'm trying not to drop down, but I'm holding steady. And struggling means you're not doing well at all in a particular area. I want you to think about how many areas that you feel like you are struggling in. And I want you to make a mental note of that. So while you think about that, I also want you to think about the research that's out there, how you're doing, how to kind of see where you are. We are probably struggling in a few areas, right? 66% of people are struggling in at least one of these areas. I want you to guess. I feel like Dora the Explorer as she looks at you for the answer. But I want you to guess how many people are thriving in all five. I'll give you 5 minutes because I really don't like Dora Explorer staring me at the screen. 5 seconds, I'm sorry. But 7% of people are only thriving in all five. That is unfortunate and very sad. But it's telling about our culture and how we look at the good life, right? So many of us are putting so much stock into career and finances that we miss those other important factors, the community, the physical and the social, that we that's the pieces that we're missing because we're working so hard to get to life. Is like we almost assume that people and our loved ones are going to wait until we're successful. But that's not like how life is. People come, they go. And if we're not living in the present, then we're always going to be missing out on those pieces. And we're going to have a life full of regret because we didn't get to spend enough time or nurture relationships when and have people around us when we need them, or just to pour into people. It's not even about us being able to pour into people and serve people. The sermon series at my church is the greatest of all times, and we talked about how serving people improves our life and our outlook. So I want you to take that in mind. And if you're struggling, I'll give you two or more areas. I encourage you to pause and figure out what you need in those areas and figure out a way that you can improve. And how do I start to build up all parts of it? Sometimes it seems impossible and overwhelming, but I promise if you're able to streamline what you need and do it for you, not based on what the world has deemed important, you'll find the time and effort to be able to balance all of these things well. And I'm a living testimony. Once you start to put these pieces in, you'll see yourself exiting burnout. You'll have more peace and your life is less chaotic. And you're going to nurture, you're going to be able to stop and smell the roses and and love on the people who's pouring into you and have time to do things that are bigger than you. And you're going to feel way better for doing it. So I want you to really think about that. Well-being is super important to me. I've seen a lot of successful leaders flame out or have these really big successes in front of the world and go home to life that's literally on fire. And I don't want you to be one of those leaders. So whether you are a leader as in an educator or a manager, supervisor, director, CEO, whatever it is that's your thing, I want you to focus on yourself a little bit. You can't show up as a leader if you don't have your life together, and you're not going to be authentic, and it's going to be way harder for you to lead a team truly, a successful team truly, if you don't have yourself together. So if you feel a tug and this hits you in a different way and made you think, I want you to consider joining my Revive and Thrive program. It is the leadership development program where it's really based around these areas. We make a game plan. I call it my Wise, Winning, and Well Leaders game plan. And it's really to help you put all the pieces together, but help you find the balance you need to show up in your power, but also to get your life, make some plans to get your life in order, pull some time away from the career, but be more impactful in less energy, less amount of time, so you can put that time towards the other things that's missing in your life. If you feel like that is something for you, I want you to connect with me. You can schedule a discovery call at gracefullyproductive.com, or you can go ahead and look at you can find the Revive and Thrive tab and really read about the program there. Currently enrolling, is made for busy leaders. I haven't found a program like this, but it is for leaders, and I want you to really consider doing something for yourself. We don't usually do that. but I want you to consider this program. If this is speaking to you, don't wait. Email me now before life gets too busy and you forget. So thank you so much for joining me at the Refueling Station. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm building a community. I'm really excited about it, and I want you to be a part. But until next time, see you later and keep thriving. Bye-bye.